Man, guys, we got a really good episode today. We're going into the Joe Biden impeachment inquiry, okay? Because it seems to me, based on all the media outlets and all this no evidence, we don't know what an inquiry really means, okay? So we're going to really lay down the facts on what an inquiry means. And they're saying no evidence. Well, that's not really the truth. There's a lot of, I wouldn't say it's not concrete because it's not like we have the documents in hand, at least for the American public, but we have Congress people and people in the Senate who have discretion on being able to see these documents. And they've already said we have the evidence. So it's an inquiry. We need to really go into what an inquiry is because you don't even need the evidence to have an impeachment inquiry. I just want to make sure that we got enough evidence to impeach. If we got enough evidence to impeach, then by all means try to go ahead with it. But then, me thinking about the future, Lord knows I don't want Kamala Harris touching the presidency. So if we got to deal with Joe Biden until he dies in like 6 months, like let's just keep him till he dies, okay? Because Kamala Harris is going to ruin everything. All right, guys, but we're going to go into the facts on this. We're going to leave the emotions at the door, and we're just going to get right into it. But this is a special episode. Not only is it Friday, not only are we going into the weekend, but we hit 100 subscribers, guys. And I know it's not a lot, but we've only been doing this podcast for not even 3 months. We're like 2.5 months in. So 2.5 months, we got 100 subscribers. I mean, we're just going to keep it pushing and keep making this better. I mean, I'm just trying to bring as much topics as I can that I feel the average person should be aware of. And we're just going to keep growing it as much as we can, guys. So I really appreciate you. But we're going to get right into the topics here. We're going to go right in, first off, with what the definition of an inquiry is, an impeachment inquiry. Okay, so we got here, Google, what is the meaning of an impeachment inquiry? An impeachment inquiry is an investigation into possible wrongdoing, meaning an inquiry is a step toward potential impeachment. Typically, the House Judiciary Committee conducts an impeachment inquiry, a process that can include public hearings and subpoenas for information and documents. Guys, based on we might have public hearings. People might have to testify, might have to have some, more evidence come forward. Also, showing documentation. Is that what it said? Subpoenas for information and documents. So we might get even more information and more documents than what the Congress and the Senate have already seen in these committees. Okay. I mean, guys, I don't understand why the media, and this is the gaslighting that I hate. This is why I started this podcast, because I can't stand the mainstream media. I can't stand them. All they're doing is lying to your freaking face. We're going to show a video clip in just a little bit as well of different news outlets. Okay, it's not just CNN. It's not just MSNBC. Actually, I even have Fox in this compilation video of all these people talking about it, okay? And it is blowing my mind how every single news outlet is saying no evidence. There's no evidence. The only reason I'm against it is because there's no evidence. What are you talking about, guys? What are you talking about? We went through 2 different impeachments, 2 for President Trump. Okay, that had no evidence, no real evidence behind it. They used the Russia dossier, that Hillary Clinton actually paid for and had to pay fines for. Okay, I can't believe it was just fines, but she had to pay fines at least for it because it was bullshit. It was no evidence, no real evidence behind that. And so you're gonna say, when we have all the smoking guns that you could ask for when it comes to Joe Biden, that he was involved in illicit business dealings with his son, with countries like China, like Ukraine, who were funding this freaking war for, all this stuff. I mean, we're going to go into it, guys. Okay, we're going to go into it. But just based on the definition, how is an impeachment inquiry, okay, an inquiry, how is this not, like, they're saying it's subjective when it's not. Like, it's really not. There's so much evidence here to actually stamp for the approval for the inquiry, because it's not impeachment. It's not like they're voting on impeachment right now. They just want to get more concrete evidence because there's enough stuff that's already available that's like, yo, we need to look at this. And I'm an independent, guys. It's not about Joe Biden. It's about the criminality that is associated with Joe Biden and his entire family. His entire family, guys. All right, so we're going to go here. We got this little video clip of Kevin McCarthy speaking to a reporter, where the reporter is like, but there's no evidence. And he's going to be like, well, what about this that we've already heard? What about this that was under oath? It was under testimony. According to you're going to hear this. According to the testimony, then yeah, that's true. Well, the testimony is evidence. They're sworn under oath to tell the truth. Like, God, I'm telling you, there's too much stuff. So we're going to watch this here, and I want you to come up with your own basis on what you think about this. All right. So let me see here. Let me play this.
So what impeachment inquiry is to do is to get answers to questions. Are you concerned about all the stuff that was just recently learned? Do you have any concern? Have you asked the White House any questions?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe the president lied to the American public when he said he'd never talked to his son about business dealings? Yes or no? It's all right.
I can't answer that.
You can't answer that? Do you believe when they said the president went on conference calls? Do you believe that happened?
That's what the testimony says.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you believe the president went to Cafe Milano and had dinner with the clients of Hunter Biden, who believes he got those clients because he was selling the brand?
That's what the testimony
Okay.
says.
Do you believe Hunter Biden, when you saw the video of him driving a Porsche, that he got $143,000 to buy that Porsche the next day? Do you believe the $3 million from the Russian oligarch that was transferred to the shell companies that the Bidens controlled after the dinner from Cafe Milano took place?
So the testimony says.
Okay, then I go back. Do you think the president lied that he?
But is that an impeachable? Is lying an impeachable?
Well, you want to know. I'm not saying impeachment. All I'm saying is I would like to know answers to these questions. The American public like to know, and that's what impeachment.
Guys, that reporter sounded like an idiot, like a freaking idiot. She's like, well, according to the testimony. Well, what do you think a testimony is? You just talking to your friend on the side of the street? No, they're sworn under oath to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Like, guys, I mean, we have testimony from former FBI agents about the IRS, and there's even IRS whistleblowers actually that came out talking about how they weren't even able to do their job because they were told not to go into it regarding Hunter Biden. Like, look, a lot of the criminality is on Hunter Biden. I'm not saying that it's not, okay? But there are huge pieces of it, which we're going to get into in this other video clip, that Joe Biden is very in the middle of it. I mean, guys, I don't know if you've heard about this. The Biden family has over 20 shell companies that aren't actual businesses, but they're listed as, LLCs and different things like that, where money gets transferred and then gets moved and all this stuff. They're doing everything as under the radar as they can. But now that everything's coming to light, I mean, this impeachment inquiry is important because now they're going to be able to dig deep. And they're going to be able to let the American public know exactly what the Biden family, the family especially, has been doing. I mean, Joe Biden is corrupt as all hell. The Biden family wouldn't be able to do all these backdoor deals. Like, Hunter Biden would have never gotten on the board of Burisma, which is an energy company in Ukraine, if it wasn't for Joe Biden being the vice president at the time. They wanted influence. They bought influence. That is exactly what they did. And for Joe Biden to say all the way back from the 2020 election that he had no contact with any business partners when it comes to Hunter Biden. He had no clue what the hell Hunter Biden's doing. It's all been proven to be lies based on text messages, based on emails that we've already gotten. I mean, guys, just look it up. It's there. There's a lot of other articles because of the mainstream media. There's a lot of other articles that are saying, no, there's nothing there. But if you just look at the evidence is there. You just have to find it because Google is a left-leaning company. Okay. So when you Google things, it's going to take a while before you actually find articles that have the evidence that we're trying to show, because a lot of things that Google pushes, it's all opinion pieces. It's all CNN and MSNBC opinion pieces. Like, I don't want to hear what a journalist says on the side. I want to know the facts. That's why I got into this podcast. Get into the facts, baby. Leave your emotions at the door. Let us get into it. Let us find what's real. Okay. I got lied to enough in my life. I'm tired of the government trying to lie to me, and it's gotten worse over the last 6 years since the pandemic. So we got to really bring this to light as much as possible. All right, guys. And then here we got this little video, this little montage video. Okay. And this is off Twitter, or X, I should call it now. But we're going to watch this. Okay. And it's got a Fox News host that starts it off, where they're saying, oh, there's actually Republicans that are against this impeachment inquiry and all this stuff. And it's because, guys, again, there's establishment politicians and there's people that still actually vote according to their constituents in their state and their district. Okay. That's the real difference. The only people that are against an inquiry, when there's all the smoking guns available, are people that are establishment politicians and are trying to ride that line. All right. So we got this little montage video. We're going to watch this, and then we're going to go straight in to another video where one of the GOP reps was going at a reporter, because the reporter's like, well, there's no evidence. He's like, what are you talking about? There's no evidence. And he lists off all the evidence. He lists everything off. And he's like, and then she's like, the American public don't see that. The American public thinks this is political revenge. Is because you don't report on it, because they are mainstream media. They do not report the facts. They report their opinions now. It's all about feelings these days, and it's really starting to piss me off. It really is. So we're going to get into it, guys. Let's see this here.
Things like this. David Joyce, Congressman, I'm not seeing the facts or evidence. Dusty Johnson, there's a constitutional legal test that you have to meet with evidence, and I haven't seen it. Don Bacon, there should be a direct link to the president and some of the evidence. I think we need to have more concrete evidence to go down that path. And then Ken Buck, the time for impeachment is the time when there's evidence linking President Biden. And I don't think that evidence has been presented. No, these are not people who are Democrats. They're not members of the lamestream media or whatever you want to call it. Those are Republican Congress people.
What's missing for you, what's missing for me, what's missing for all of us is evidence of Joe Biden profiting off of anything that Hunter Biden did. We just don't have that evidence.
There's no evidence at this point.
And there is no actual evidence.
Because there has been no evidence.
I don't see the evidence at this point.
There's simply not a shred of evidence linking President Biden to any form of criminal wrongdoing or a high crime and misdemeanor.
Members of Congress, colleagues keep asking, what's the evidence? And there is no evidence of any wrongdoing.
They have no evidence linking Joe Biden in any way to Hunter Biden's business dealings.
There is nothing, no evidence at all.
There is zero evidence that the president had not made a single penny out of this.
Now we're going down this road based on no evidence that changed over the last several weeks. So nothing is different other than calling it an impeachment inquiry. But now it's turned into a very hyper-partisan and unfortunate political game that they are playing.
McCarthy has made too many promises to too many lunatics. No one wants an impeachment inquiry. It's never fun. It's not going to help anything. But it is going to show that the GOP is a fiercely unserious party.
Really, guys? I mean, I don't know about you, but these are all different mainstream media outlets saying the same words. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. If you would dig your goddamn head out the sand, there's actually quite a bit of evidence. And even if there was no evidence on Joe Biden, let's just play their game, right? If Donald Trump's kid, if one of his kids actually has the allegations that are factual, because we've gotten his fucking laptop of Hunter Biden. If they did anything that Hunter Biden did, especially when it comes to getting millions of dollars from Chinese energy companies and Ukraine energy companies and all this stuff, do you really think that these people would be like, well, there's really no evidence against Donald Trump? No, they would impeach him within 30 seconds. 30 seconds, they would impeach his ass easily, very easily. It'd be done, okay? And if there was evidence on Donald Trump's kids of doing the exact same thing, I'd be on that same boat, because I'm not playing one side of the aisle or the other. I'm a goddamn independent. And I'm proud of it, because I'm an independent thinker. I'm a critical thinker. There's going to be things that the left makes more sense of, and there's things that the right makes more sense of. But right now, in the last 5-6 years that we've been dealing with, the left is not saying anything that I agree with at all, because they don't even like the Constitution no more. They are trying to bypass the Constitution with every turn. When it comes to our elections, we have never in the history of the United States done unsolicited mail-in ballots. Never. Okay, guys? You had to request a mail-in ballot. You had to submit something to get a mail-in ballot. Now, they're just sending it out like a discount tire coupon. Like, that's never been the case. So they don't give a fuck about our Constitution or anything that the United States was made and what the United States stands for, to be honest. All right, guys. But we are going right in to this other video of this rep, Scott Perry, going in on a reporter about the Biden impeachment inquiry, saying that the reporter was saying that this is political revenge and all this stuff, when he fully explains how it's not. So we're going to go into it right here. If it'll play.
All right, last question. Yes, ma'am.
Let us ask, what actual evidence do you have, as opposed to allegations, to show to the American public that would merit an actual impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden, and prove that today isn't just about some of you
I don't know.
Successfully bullied Speaker McCarthy for the sake of enacting political revenge?
This isn't about political revenge. We have the bank accounts. We can see, ma'am, you can see that the homes that the Bidens own can't be afforded on a congressional or Senate salary. You also understand that it's not normal for family members to receive millions of dollars from overseas interests. Those things aren't normal. It's not normal to have 20 shell companies. These things are not normal, and it alludes to not only just widespread corruption, but money laundering, if not influence peddling itself. And we also have the vice president at the time on record saying that the prosecutor was fired. Well, son of a bitch, the prosecutor was fired, right? Because the prosecutor was going after the company that his son was working on. That's what we have. If you can't see that, if you are that blunt, look, I'll turn it over to the attorney.
The American people can't see that. They think it's political revenge.
It's because you don't report on it.
And again, guys, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. The media is not reporting on it, and they haven't been reporting on it. Ever since Trump got into the spotlight about running for president, it's been so opposite. The media has really shown their colors, and honestly, I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it, because it's showing more everyday Americans how one-sided the media really is. Okay, because there should be no reason that the average American doesn't understand why we're going after Joe Biden, when they seem to have all this evidence on why we went after Trump, when it's all, there's no actual factual evidence. Like, Hillary Clinton paid a fine, a pretty big fine. She should have gotten more than that, but she at least got paid a pretty big, or had to pay a pretty big fine, because she actually made the Steele dossier that led to the Russian hoax of Donald Trump being connected to Russia, like being a Russian spy, a Soviet Union spy. Like, that is absolutely nuts, guys. And now that we actually have, we have the laptop that's been factually proven. We have all the emails. We have the WhatsApp messages. We have all this, guys. It's there. So why are we even talking about this as it's not even true? We have enough smoking guns for this impeachment inquiry. Because again, guys, it's not an impeachment yet. It's not even an impeachment yet. It's an inquiry. And that's what we should all want. When there's enough smoking guns like this, we should want all the answers, because I don't want any president. I don't care if it's Donald Trump. I don't care if it's Biden. I don't care if it's Obama. Okay? If there's evidence that they can be bought by other foreign countries, especially communist countries, I do not want them in office. And neither should you. We should value our freedoms because, guys, this was the biggest experiment on self-governorship the world has ever seen. And things have gotten so good here that we are about to give it up. We are giving it up so quick. It's not even funny. Okay? So we just got to be aware of it, guys. We really got to be aware of it. We got to vote correctly if we want to see the change to bring America, I wouldn't even say back, but bring us in to a future where we have the diversity that we've been having over the last 30, 40 years. Ever since the civil rights movement in the 60s, we have gotten to a point in a golden age of a harmonious governorship with all races, with all religions, with all ethnicities. We've been doing this for a while. Okay? I don't want to lose it. And I don't think the average person wants to lose it either, but I don't think the average person is really understanding how close we are to losing this. It is closer than ever before that we are going to lose this. All right. And I don't want that to happen. So we're going to keep putting out these videos, guys. We're going to keep trying to make everybody aware. And I'm going to keep showing these videos. I'm going to keep showing the articles. I'm going to keep showing the facts when it comes to what I'm talking about. Because am I emotional about it? I mean, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So you're going to hear what I think and my emotions on what I think at all times. That's just what I do. Okay. But when I talk with emotion, it doesn't mean I'm talking about my emotional opinion. Okay. My opinion on things is solely based on the facts. And it has to be when you're talking about millions of people that live in this country. Because I don't want to step on the toes of anybody that doesn't want to step on my toes. And it should be vice versa. All right, guys. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend coming up. And I'll see you on that next video.
Yeah.